All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Print and Pretzels. Tonight, we're going to cover some hot topics, maybe do some hot takes. Maybe we'll get some controversy in the chat. And if you're on the replay family, drop it in the comments. Let us know what your thoughts are, because we got some thoughts here on where all these printers are headed in a 3D printing world for 2026. So get your pretzels, get your ice water, get your beverages, and strap that seatbelt in for tonight because we got some hot ones coming in. So we're going to recap. Deadpool, how's it going? We're going to recap for last week. Last week we did some of the 3D printing band coverage, and then we also, throughout the week, the day, I think it was 2 days after, we released our Snapmaker review video, our initial thoughts, or not initial thoughts, but 7,000 tool swaps in. Technically, we're like 15,000 swaps in now, but that video was pre-recorded-ish, I guess. It was recorded at 7,000 swaps. But from Florida, all right. Glad you're joining us from Florida. We're doing pretty good here in Michigan. We got a little bit of a warm break, so it's good to see you, Deadpool. Thanks for jumping in the chat. Appreciate it. So tonight's episode, we're going to cover what printers are coming out now or coming out next, or already out, I guess I should say, or just have come out, and why we think some of them are outdated. Actually, probably most of them are outdated, and they're kind of behind the curve. And then we're going to go into what the curve is, who created the curve, and then where the curve is going in 2026, and where we think it could go further. 3D printing is getting crazy now. Some studio updates for this week. Let me flip you over to the Alpha Centauri side of the house real quick, because we did get a shipment in this week. It's half of the shipment that we're expecting, and the other half will get probably here later this coming week. But let me flip you over there. Over to Alpha Centauri side, you can see right there, smack dab in the middle, we do have the Wondermaker ZR that arrived in the studio. I want to shout out to Wondermaker. They did send this printer out to us for a review. We did not purchase this. We are going to review this printer. That's not a printer right there. That's just the enclosure. That's what I was talking about. It's only like half of the printer. It's the Wondermaker ZR enclosure. And we're going to go into some Wondermaker stuff and what they're doing later in the episode. But just want to give you guys a shout out there. You can see our Centauri Carbons over there. They're currently not doing anything right now. I haven't had a chance to program them like real quick for a minute. And the far left one is down right now. We're waiting on some parts coming over from Elegoo there. And then you see our frozen air purifier Max there. We're testing that out right now for frozen. It's doing great. We'll get some of that coverage out in a review video here, probably not too long. We did purchase that one of our own accord, and it's doing great. So we can have our little furry friends have extra ventilation and air filtration down here in the studio. And let me flip it back over to me. So we're going to crack open our pretzels, and I want to give a shout out for these little fidget clickers I found this week. Super cool. If you want to know what these are, drop it in the comments. I can get a link to that so you can get them on MakerWorld, or you can view our MakerWorld profile and view our browsing history. You can see everything I've looked at on there. I keep it public for everybody to look at. But Aaron, all right, now I know who you are. Thanks, Aaron. It's good to see you, man. We're just chilling up here in Michigan. Henry and Abby are watching me from upstairs, but I'm glad you could join the live stream tonight. It's you're gonna get to see what we're doing from week to week. But 3D printing's heating up. So following the agenda for tonight, we're gonna crack open our pretzels for this week. We're doing sour cream and onion twisted pretzel sticks from Snyder's. They are, and Riley's gonna join me here. But we got sour cream and onion for tonight. And we got our ice water black raspberry. All right, so let's get into tonight's episode. Some of these printers that are coming out, other reviewers are classifying them as clones or duplicates of some of the Bambu stuff that's coming out. I partially agree with them. There's some innovation on the technology that's happened, but a lot of it's coming from the Bambu A1 that you can see over here on our screen. And David Walton, good to see you. I gotta get my chat box a little bit bigger here. Did I see a Wondermaker box in the background? David, you did. We did get the Wondermaker printer sent over to us from Wondermaker. I reached out to them, and they sent us the ZR. They don't have any review units yet for the ZR Ultra, which is going to be covered later in this episode. But they sent that out to us, and it's not the printer yet. That's on its way still. That was the enclosure you saw over there. But you did see it, David. So shout out for pointing that out. But what we're talking about is the A1 series printers is being cloned by a lot of the market right now. And to me, and to some of the other reviewers right now, that is kind of behind the curve. So what we're going to start with tonight's, and chat family, drop it in there, and review family, or not review family, but replay family, drop it in the comments. But we're going to cover some of these clones first, and some other printers that are out there that are doing their own thing, that are kind of behind the curve right now with the multicolor aspect. We're in the age, we're moving on from just plain multicolor, but we're going to cover those for a minute here. So the first model that I want to cover is the Anycubic X model. Again, it's a clone, in my opinion, and other reviewers' opinions out there, of the A1. And let me show you what that looks like with screen share here real quick. If I can find my screen, there it is, screen capture. So you're gonna see the infinite screen of death for a second, guys, and then we're gonna go over here to Anycubic's page. I am from North America. Let's click that. And I want to go over to their Anycubic new arrivals. It should be right here, the Anycubic Kobra X. So if you own a Bambu Lab A1, or you can head on over to their website to check it out. This is very similar. I'm not going to say exact. There's other technology in there. They've shortened the distance in the purge between the nozzle and the cutter to help with the purge. But it's the 4-color system, like with the AMS light, that goes into the tool head, and it's a single nozzle printer. Okay, this just came out. The A1's been out for well over a year, maybe closer to 2 years now, I think. But this printer is in that same style of family. It's a bed slinger, and it doesn't have the capability of to do mostly purgeless waste, or mostly purgeless printing. It does claim that, and here somewhere, all those colors that you can do here. And it is very budget friendly. I'm not gonna knock it on that. $279 for a color printer. Okay, that's great. But how long is it gonna take for that filament waste to add up to what these other tool changers are coming out to be? So, and I'll cover that in a video that we're gonna be posting here in the next probably 48 hours in depth. But this is just an example of the Anycubic Kobra X and the A1 clone. It's really trailing innovation, is what I say. It's not pushing the market further. This is going to be for those, I have $300, I want to get the multicolor printing, and I'll figure out the filament waste later. So the next printer that I want to touch on before I get into the chat comments real quick is the Spark X i7. Again, we're going to see that 4 multicolor coming into the 1 tool head. Again, I mean, if you look at it, it's very similar to the A1. I'm sure there is some technology in there. I know I've seen some advertisements about AI being involved. No matter what side of the fence you're on with that, that is a feature that they're leaning into on that. But it's got good reviews. Well, I guess I can't say that there are no reviews on this one currently. But I guess the comments are available after purchase. But it's just another one of those printers that are cloning what's already happened and just making it refined a little bit. So let me jump back over to the chat family here real quick so I can catch up, making sure I'm not missing anything. Oops, there we go. Catch up to the comments here real quick. X1 supports up to 19 colors. Yes, up to 19 colors. David, I imagine you have to get additional units to go with it, to purchase with it. If you're going for the 19 colors for that system, that's a lot of investment to be into that ecosystem. And I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. I'm just saying I think the technology is going to rapidly advance. So be prepared for that. I think 2026 is not going to be the year of the horse, like everybody's saying, for the Lunar New Year. I think it's going to be the year of the tool changer. And again, then the X, not the X1, okay. And then David says, less waste and more speed is what we need. Yes, I completely agree, David, on that statement. Supposedly the i7 is really just doing what Bambu introduced, where you can use that experimental feature to retract before cutting. I think so as well. Machine works well, but nothing special for less waste. Again, I'm right there with you, David, and chat family. It's not pushing the market forward. So this next printer in this atmosphere of not pushing the market forward, I might get a little bit of heat for it. That's okay. I'm prepared for that. But this next printer, I have a coupon for this printer because I ordered this in the first version that was supposed to have multicolor, and I haven't used it yet. Actually, I have 2 coupons because I have 2 machines, or have 2 machines, haven't used the coupon. Just because I think the market is going way faster than this printer is going. I even think Elegoo is pushing something in behind the scenes that's going to come out 6-8 months, maybe this time next year. That's going to replace the unit. So let's, now that I spill the beans that I think it's Elegoo, let's get into that screen share again, and I'll show you what I think is going on here. Centauri Carbon 2. We don't need that. Centauri Carbon 2 combo plus 4. I mean, all right. So let's look at this printer for what it is. We got the Centauri Carbon 1 last year. Great. It came out. I love this printer. I love the Centauri Carbon for its single color capabilities. It is fast, and it spits out things as fast as I can put it into it sometimes. But what it doesn't do, and what was promised, was the multicolor. And I know before chat family and before replay family, I know it's still promised. I know Elegoo's still working on it. And I know it'll get here eventually. I'm not worried about that aspect. I know, I don't know, but it's gonna happen. I'm not worried about it. It is what it is at this point. But then the Centauri Carbon 2 comes out 2-3 weeks ago. That comes out, and the Snapmaker is already out. Okay, we know what that does. It's got the 4 tool changers. It's wasteless printing. Okay. For 490, well, let me click on the actual unit. For $449, and the Snapmaker is $899 right now. If your budget for the $449 is, sorry, because I have a late delivery. For $449, how long is it going to take for the filament waste and time savings and possible maintenance savings to add up to get to that $899 point? That is where I'm at with this printer. So it is definitely something to think about if you're looking at purchasing not just this printer, not just the 2 printers that I covered earlier, but any printer that right now with the market where it's at. Do your research and look at the later tonight's live stream. Stay tuned for this. The market is changing, and I have some information tonight that where it's going and where I hope it's going too. Let me get back to chat family here and see what you guys have to say. Oops. Colin, welcome to the live stream. So getting into that part of it, I mean, there's other machines, and even the printer that or the enclosure, the printer's on its way, even the printer that we were getting in the studio to review, that is still going to fall into that single color wasteful printing. And I reached out to Wondermaker and asked them if they have an upgrade path from the ZR to the ZR Ultra, which is their 4 toolhead that they just did Kickstarter on. It's got, I think it's pretty much the same frame. They haven't got back to me yet. It's the lunar calendar, lunar holiday over there overseas. So shout out to them. Enjoy your holidays, guys. And thank you for making all these cool printers. We appreciate that. Not just Wondermaker, but all the printer companies. We appreciate the hard labor that you do over there. But the whole industry is moving towards this purgeless printing. David, I did back the Wondermaker ZR Ultra. Hopefully by the end of March it will arrive. We shall see. David, let me know. I have reached out to Wondermaker to see if they have any review units yet. They said they don't have any review units yet for creators. So hopefully we can get one of those in the studio as well. I missed out on that Kickstarter. I wasn't aware of it. It's cool that it's a tool changer and it's just helping move this industry forward. And we'll cover that here later in the live stream. So where does that leave us currently? What's on the market now? So we saw last year, I'm going to do this in a little bit of a reverse order. Excuse me. And I actually got to back up a little further than that. I think it's been on the market for a few years. The Prusa XL, I believe it's their 5 tool changer. That thing is expensive. Yes, it has those 5 tool heads, but that was really, as far as I'm aware of, the first machine to attempt the tool changing possibilities. I think that was the first player in the game for purgeless printing. It's still extremely expensive and it is far above my budget. That machine is really for the prosumer. It's even more expensive than the H2C. It might be closer now that the H2C is out, but that brings me into the next printer that we have up to bat. The H2C came out November of last year, I want to say, or at least it was announced in November last year. And let's take a look at what that printer offers: multicolor printing for purgeless printing. And there's other reviewers out there. This is just going to be a little bit of an overview on this machine. I need to make sure that I click screen share for you all. I have a bad habit of not doing that. So this is the Bambu Lab H2C. As you can see, still, in my opinion, this prosumer price point. I don't have a Bambu Lab H2C. It is really, really expensive. I would love to have one. I've got plenty of AMS units to run it, but the cost is still in that really, really prosumer price point. $2,300 is nothing to bat an eye at. But let's see what it does for, if I can scroll, if it'll let me scroll down far enough. There we go. So the innovation that was pushed out by the H2C is not tool head changing, it's the nozzle swapping technology. There's a whole video on it Bambu released. I'm not going to get too far into depth in it, but what it basically does is it swaps out the the nozzle on the, I believe, right side of the machine for colors that are already ready to load in the AMS. It can do up to 7 colors, I believe, with the other side, the second nozzle, also offering color changing capabilities, but that'll have a little bit of waste because they can't swap out. I think that's where that one is at. I don't have the machine. I can't speak on it in totality, but that is definitely innovation, and it pushes the market in a direction. Will it be Bambu Lab's final direction? I don't know. We'll get to that in a bit later in the live stream. Get back to chat family here and make sure that I'm not missing anything. Bambu. All right. Why is Alfie not printing? Alfie is getting a break, Colin. So we just wrapped up filming on the plate cycler C1M for, oh man, he had to be running for probably close to 2 weeks straight without shutting off. He printed an entire fruit stand of fidgets. He printed a ton of the tops for these things. He did some work. So he deserves a little bit of a break. I'm probably going to need to do a maintenance period on him. So that's why he's not printing right now. He's getting a bit of a breather. But he's over there in his new-ish home. I need to find like an extension cable for the AMS unit, because I actually want to turn him around so I can get rid of that basket and just put another one of these bins underneath for the purge. And hopefully I won't have to keep doing that for much longer for where the industry is going. But that's why Alfie is at rest right now. He's not dead, I promise. David, they should have set up the H2C so the swappable nozzle space, have 2 PTFE tubes so the next color was ready so you didn't wait for the AMS. David, I completely agree. And that's where I think one of the next printers, assuming there's like no setbacks or anything, really does. And we talked about it on the first episode of Print Pretzels. Well, not the first, but the first of the series. 3 weeks ago now, as the new printers. But I definitely agree on that point. But so we see that the H2C pushed the industry in a direction. I don't know if that's the final direction for Bambu or if they have something else in the works, but towards the back end of this live stream, I'll get into that section. And replay family, I'll put timestamps in there for you so you can check that out. So let's get into the next printer. Make sure I click screen capture here so you all can see that I think is going to push the industry in, or that has pushed the industry in a completely unexpected, and I own it. It's right there. You can see it for yourselves once we get off screen capture. This printer, it has changed even the way I do things here in the studio. The Snapmaker U1 has really just transformed multicolor printing. Even though it's only 4 colors, no, we don't get 16 colors. Do I think Snapmaker's got something in the works for that? Yes, I do. More into that here in a second. But it came out last October, and as you can see in this video here on screen, it literally swaps that quickly. Yes, it looks like an AI generated video, but I can attest with the printer behind me, it does that quickly. 4 tool heads. It does advertise AI print monitoring. I haven't seen that in action. Oh, actually, yes, I have. It's actually stopped my printer once. 4 tool heads. The auto filament system works. It's a little loud, I would say, but it works. I've not had any issues with it. And then the 5-second tool head swap. I don't even know if this covers it, honestly, on the filament waste. I think that would be even less than that on that model. I mean, maybe because of the prime tower, but I have a video coming out later for you all. Let me get you back off of this page. Probably Friday is when it'll come out. That compares the P1S and the Snapmaker U1, and where this filament waste, I mean, it just saves so much. If I were starting over today into this industry as a new hobbyist, I would be very compelled to get this printer. And if you do want to get this printer, I am not sponsored by Snapmaker in any way. The only thing that I would get from Snapmaker is if you choose to use the link down in the description, it is an affiliate link. It is a kickback to the channel, and it would help support the channel. Other than that, I haven't sent, I think I've sent one email out to Snapmaker, and that was for actual parts, because I want to have some on hand. But other than that, that's all we have of affiliation at this current time for Snapmaker. But I am very impressed with this machine. Colin, the only downside of the U1 is it's not fully enclosed. Colin, I completely agree. I really wish I had a top hat for this thing. I have in the studio. I did get that top hat mod that you can get the acrylic panels on. I haven't gotten off to printing the pieces for it yet. But the enclosure that they have coming out is for the Snapmaker, from Snapmaker, looks very promising. I think they said sometime in November. But there's also another update on that I can give you. BQ has put out there that they're also putting a top hat out for this unit. When that comes out, I'm going to see if I can't get my hands on that. I do have a representative over in BQ that I can get in contact with. They did send us some stuff for the P1S. That's content we're currently filming. So I'm going to see if I can't get my hands on that for hands-on review. But that one looks promising too, because it can work with the Panda Breath, which can heat the chamber. So there is potential for that enclosed possibility. So to answer that drawback, it is a drawback, but there's options out there to address that drawback. But the Snapmaker U1, it is a little loud, I will say. And I don't mean in the traditional like humming, vibrating printer loud. When it does some of the tool movements, it has a high pitch noise, but it doesn't bother me at all. I don't know if you can hear it on camera or not, but it is. I am super impressed with this machine. So I can't say enough good things about it. As a Kickstarter backer from back in October, it has met every single expectation that I've had for this machine, and I have done the maintenance period on this. You can check out that video, Replay Family, in the up above. And if you're not in the Replay Family, chat family, it is on our channel to check out if you haven't checked that out yet. So that's where we're at now. We just had this major breakthrough in technology, and now I think we're going to see all these other printer companies react to it. They're going to say, okay, how much of a market share did Snapmaker really capture? And from what I can tell, I'm pretty sure, I can't verify this because I remember seeing it, but I don't know if it's still current. It was the most funded Kickstarter for a 3D printer ever. So that was a huge moment for everyone in the field of 3D printing. David, have you gone through the manual bed leveling wizard on the U1? I have not gone through the manual bed leveling wizard yet. That is something else that I want to do. I really want to narrow in that bed leveling. Iceman 74, I love my U1 also. Welcome to the chat. Yes, like I said, I can't say enough of this. And if you guys need a build plate for that, I also dropped that build plate in the description from BQ. It 1,000 times an upgrade from the standard build plate for bed adhesion. And it's a cool plate, so you can print at a lower temperature, save a little bit of energy. And that's affiliate link. There is a kickback from BQ if you guys do purchase that plate, just for transparency. But where are we at now? Okay, everyone is going to be chasing Snapmaker in one way, shape, or form. Whether it's the market share, whether it is going to be for the purgeless, wasteless printing. They have seen how much there is a demand from it. I mean, just from that Kickstarter alone. And now all the players in the industry are going to be like, okay, it's on our radar. What can we do to develop it? So that's where the next set of printers come into play. But before we get into that, for those of us joining in the chat, or joining live stream now, and those that are just joining the replay family now, we have gone over where the industry is currently at in printers that I'm not going to buy at this point in time because of where the industry is at. Nothing against those printers. It's just not what I need as a 3D printer, and I wouldn't say a prosumer, but a consumer. I wouldn't go for the Anycubic Kobra X right now, the bed slinger that has the multicolor capabilities. Is definitely budget friendly. At $200, just about $300 for that printer. You get multicolor capabilities with it, but it comes at the cost of purge waste. And it won't take long, especially if you do a lot of multicolor printing, for it to add up. And I know for most of the fact, I don't have the actual printer, but I have a similar printer, the A1. They're a clone, in my opinion. That is going to be, I know if it were me, I would have $300 printed and waste in probably a month. But the other one was, or the next one was Creality X i7. It's the same thing. It's a clone of the A1, has that purge problem. And then the Elegoo Centauri Carbon 2 that just came out along with these other two printers. And again, purge waste. I feel like it's a late entry into the game. Most of the players are at the finish line, ready to start the next race, and this printer is just now entering the race. So, and then we covered the H2C, and then of course the Snapmaker. So, on our first episode of this arc of Print and Pretzels, we covered this printer that I'm going to share with you. It is the Co-Print Quattro. This one, you can secure your spot for $20. I'm not saying do that. I'm not saying yay or nay. I'm saying this is another way a player in the industry, Co-Print, who produces add-ons for single color printers to make them multicolor. So I have a feeling they know what they're doing with this kind of stuff. But this is another way that the industry is being pushed towards toolets. And this is a bed slinger type. Colin brought this up a few live streams back up about, I want to see this on the A1 frame, and here it is. For transparency, I did put a $20 down. I mean, it's $20, and they say that they'll refund it if you change your mind. And it says limited access early slots. I'm not trying to push hype, but I'm trying to make you aware of where the industry is at. And this is an entry into the industry at this current time for tool changers. This one, it has 4 tool heads, just like the U1, but in a different way. It parks them on the sides, it looks like, and the spools are behind them. And I need to point something out, actually. I think it's down further. This is a bit bigger than your traditional bed slinger. It's got a really big build plate. I don't think I caught this on the first time around that we saw it on the first episode of this arc. As you can see, here is the waste in comparison to all these other printers, the A1, X1 Carbon. This is a stat that they're providing. And here's another one that really surprised me. All right, so here's the Snapmaker U1. This is what I would say the benchmark of where the industry is at now. And here's what the pre-order is going to be. Or now they're not pre-ordering anymore. They'll be able to get you a production unit here pretty soon in March, $999.99. And then you have the advertisement of Co-Print's going to be way down here. What is that price? That seems significantly lower than $999.99. This looks like $500 to me. I don't know exactly what the price is, but that spacing there tells me it is going to be significantly lower. And then they have all the frequently asked questions. If you want to check that out, I'll drop that in the chat for you, chat family. Let me get off of screen capture real quick here. But I'll drop that in the chat for you. Somewhere here. so you can check that out. So there's the co-print printer. You can check that out. $20 gets you a spot. I'm not saying back it. I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying this is an entry into the printer world, hypothetically, because it's not a printer that's out yet. This is pre-launch information. I don't know when it's going to launch. I don't know how it's going to launch. But it is being advertised as the next piece that they're trying to put into this industry. Blakest 21, what state are you in? We are in Michigan. Good old city, Ludington, Michigan, on the west coast, or right by Lake Michigan. I live like 3 blocks from Lake Michigan. So we talk about the co-print Quattro, and this next printer is going to be more Bambu-esque. And I think they're trying to take what Bambu did with H2C, make it better, make it faster, and make it cheaper, which would be great. Oh, and for that Quadro, before I forget, I believe that bed size is 300 by 300 by 300. That's pretty big. That's bigger than a Snapmaker U1's bed size. So that's going to be a rather large bed slinger printer. I'm in Midland, Michigan. All right, Colin. Great Lakes Laser Supply. Nice. We are in Grand Rapids. All right. Shout out to Michigan family. Great Lakes Laser Supply. Have you heard about the Michigan Maker Summit? I have not. We have in the description. If you want to contact us and let us know, we have a Facebook page too. Let me know where that's at. I would love to know what that's all about. Great Lakes Laser Supply. I appreciate that information. Let's see. Oh, so where was that? The next printer we covered on the first episode arc of this series is the AtomForm Palette 300. I do have an update for this as well because there is a Discord, and I did get some information off of that Discord for you all. But let me get into that printer and show you what it is about. I need to get into screen share for you all. Again. So what that is all about is right here. And you guys are going to see YouTube here for a second because I want to get this so you can see it as I view it too. So hi guys. So the AtomForm, this came across my radar about a month ago. This looks pretty promising. They showcased this back. It wasn't printing at the showcasing, but they covered this, or we covered this about 3 weeks ago now. But here we are. We'll start with this. 36 colors is significant. In 12 materials. Multicolor and multi-material all in one print. But the next part that you see in the center of the screen there, chat family and replay family, if you're watching, 12 auto swapping nozzles. If this mechanic works, like it's being advertised when it comes out, this could be huge. Currently, the H2C has the capability of swapping 7 nozzles, so you get 7 colors of purgeless printing. 12 would be huge. I don't think I've ever printed something that has 12 colors in it at one time, because of how much purge waste is involved. I would love to be able to do 12 colors and print the whole rainbow at one time. That'd be great. But 90% less waste, and here's the kicker, where it's gonna, if it functions as advertised, if it comes out like it's supposed to, again, this is pre-Kickstarter. If you see on the page, you can back this for $90 deposit. I'm not saying do it. I'm not saying don't. I'm providing you information on where the industry may be headed. 50% faster swaps. From there, as we scroll down here, 6 spool built-in drying. So they took the AMS and they said, let's build it a double decker and add 2 spools to it. So RFID6, RFID system for their filament, I'm sure is what that is. It can dry while it prints. So Bambu just released their update. so that they can do drying while printing in their AMS systems, which is great. I don't know if I can use that on the AMS unit currently, because I think that is still exclusively to the H2C and using that at the same time. But I think they're going to push that down to the other units if they haven't already. I haven't tested that out yet. They're advertising 800 millimeters per second high-speed printing. That would be excellent. I mean, that's really fast. I'm not sure I would print that fast to start out with. And then 300 by 300 by 300 millimeter build volume. Again, for reference, the Snapmaker U1 is 270 by 270, so it's bigger than that machine, but smaller than the H2C. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything else here. And here's like an AI generated or assisted video of how the functionality works. You got the nozzles being swapped here, and it just rotates like a counterclockwise, it looks like, under the hood. And here is where they advertised that savings for filament swapping time comes in. They already got the filament ready to load before the next retraction even happens. That's really cool. I'm really excited for this printer. I'm not saying back it because, again, this is a machine that's not on the market. There is not too much to know about it yet. It has been at an event last year, and it's supposed to be at TCT this year, coming, I want to say April. 7 colors. This is how much filament savings there were versus others. And then you can go through and check out the rest of them. And then they advertise their heating for their AMS unit, and it goes from there. And this is the part of the technology that I am interested to see how it works. It keeps an eye on the nozzles to make sure everything's functioning correctly, it looks like. "12 nozzles move as one." I have actually seen this on prints at times where sometimes it doesn't quite line up properly, and they're advertising perfect layers as they go up. That's cool to see, if kept as promised. And then they break down into the different aspects of this. So you can check that out. I dropped that in the chat family. Make it back over here to Bambu Sanctum and catch up on some of the comments. Iceman74, I can't wait to get the AtomForm. All right, Iceman, that's right. I remember you saying you backed that printer. They got your $50. They got my $50. Now let's hope everything goes just like the Snapmaker U1 Kickstarter did, and just without a hitch. I'm not saying it will. I'm not saying it won't. There's excitement, but I don't want to get into the hyperbole type phase, or it's exciting, but let's keep it realistic too. Now, Kickstarters have risks. Bart, loving my U1 too. I didn't get a great first layer, too much squishy in some places, but that's tunable. It is absolutely tunable. And what has helped me for my Snapmaker U1, for chat and chat family and replay family, and is when I first started with the printer, I was having a little bit of bed adhesion issues. I upgraded to the Snapmaker build plate from BQ, and I haven't had bed adhesion issues since. Actually, I can't say that. I did have one bed adhesion issue, but that was my own fault. I didn't program the printer properly. It was a PETG issue, and oops on my part, I had it programmed as PLA. I went back and found that out, so that was my own fault. But otherwise, I have not had any issues with bed adhesion at all with that Snapmaker U1 plate from BQ. You can find that in the description if you want to check that out. It is an affiliate link, so be aware. It does give a channel a kickback and helps us out. I also want to try out their glue for some of my other plates. BQ has a glue that you can roll on like a glue stick. So I'll get some of that soon. But that's where the AtomForm Palette 300 is. I do have an update for you all. I kind of dropped it a little bit earlier too. I'm on their Discord. If you go down to the bottom of their page, they have a Discord link. It's kind of quiet right now because it's the Lunar New Year, but they did drop in there saying, hey, we have more updates to do after the Lunar New Year, and we are going to be at TCT printing live, excuse me, and they're going to start pushing the live printing videos for all of us to see. David Walton, try running the manual bed leveling wizard to fine tune your bed, print the leveling tool. That makes it easier to turn the knobs on the bottom of the print bed. David, thank you for that piece of information. I really appreciate that. I got to go through that bed leveling wizard and see what that's all about. I've not done that yet. And if you're getting close to your, or if the printer has told you, because it will, if you're getting close to your maintenance period, or you're wondering, hey, I've had so many tool swaps, check out our our AMS maintenance video, our Snapmaker U1 maintenance video that we did out. That'll walk you through. Snapmaker also has their own video on that. That's what we did ours based on, and it's a really good and easy way to keep your U1 running for the long term. But all right, so just did that this evening. Manual Bard said, just did that this evening. Manual leveling improved the first layer by quite a bit. That knob print is awesome. All right, I love seeing the chat family and the Glorious Geeks family working together to get some of these troubleshooting issues figured out. So the next printer that is on the scene, or I shouldn't say on the scene, but it's coming to the scene. There is something in the works from Flashforge, Creator 5 and 5 Pro. Their 4-changer tool head on the 85X frame, I believe, or maybe slightly bigger frame. There's information out there on that, but currently at the only time that I can, or at this time, the only thing I can show you, and it's kind of funny, chat family. So it's not really a leak, but let's see here. Is it this? Yeah. So Google tells us about the Creator 5 and Creator 5 Pro, but Flashforge Wiki is out there. It says I visit often. I've checked it, like, I don't know, for the last 4 days periodically to see if it updates, but you can click on this and page not found. So Flashforge is working on it. I'm not sure they're ready to release it yet, but I have heard through the grapevine that they are going to release this printer sometime in April. So that is on the radar for Flashforge. Now I wonder if I can't see, if I back up and get some of these images for you all. All right. So it's going to be very similar to the Flashforge 85X. Here we go, right here. All right. I'm going to see if I can't blow this. Nope. So Google can pull the image. It's on the website, but we can't get to it. So let's check. Let's check this out as close as I can give it to you guys. Again, that 85X frame, slightly bigger. I believe it's supposed to be 265 by 256 by 256 by 256 square. What's different from the Snapmaker U1 is the tool changers are supposed to park on the right-hand side, I believe, of this unit, next to the spools. That's an interesting change. I wonder how that's going to work. But this is their entry into the tool changer world. Supposed to be coming sometime in April. I'm not affiliated with Flashforge. Let me get back to the chat over here for you guys all. I'm going to catch up in the comments in just a second. I'm not affiliated with Flashforge at all. They did send me a message asking if I wanted to review their AD5X. I did say yes to them, but it's the Lunar New Year. It's been crickets from them for a little while. So we'll see if we hear anything back from them after the Lunar New Year. So there's an update on that. Let's catch up on some of this chat here. Just did that evening. Okay, caught that one. CJ just wants someone to figure out how to jailbreak the Centauri Carbon. Yeah, me too. I got 3 of them. I actually really just want them to figure out the multicolor that they promised. That would be super nice. I know they're working on it. I know their Discord is also stating that they're working on it. But it would be nice to have the access into that. I do agree with you. I am glad you saw Great Lakes. I am glad I saw you live. I sent a PM and an email. Hit me up. I would love to have you involved. Have a great night. Thanks, Great Lakes. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being a maker out here in the Michigan area, and thanks for tuning in. You have a great night as well. But so the next printer that I have to talk to you all is going to be coming soon. It's already gone through its Kickstarter. One of our chat family members, I believe David, shout out to you, David, has backed this printer. I didn't get on this one. I wasn't aware of it at the time. Colin Mina, my friend, actually joked about the Elegoo Centauri Carbon 2 when it came up. Yes, Colin, I agree. I said it earlier. I feel like it is the entry into the Olympic race at the finish line, or at the end of the race. But the next printer that we're going to talk about that's coming into the industry, it's already gone through its Kickstarter. Again, shout out to David for backing that one. Let us know how that one's going to do. And let me catch up on this most recent comment. CJ, I don't care about the multicolor. It's a waste of time and material unless it's a tool changer or IDEX. I am 100% in agreement, except for the I don't care about the multicolor part. I do run a business on the multicolor on that aspect, but I do agree with you. The tool changer or the IDEX is gonna be where it's at because it gives you the single color capabilities as you know the current generation. If you program it with all one color, it'll keep going, or it gives you the wasteless printing or very minimal waste printing, which is where the industry is headed. That's what we're covering tonight. But the Wondermaker ZR Ultra, or Ultra S if you want the enclosure. Larger build volume, price is yet to be determined. It's on their website, but I don't know if it's accurate. And I think it's just going to add to that competitive pressure. And let me get you, chat family and replay family, over to screen capture one more time. Someday I'll figure out the infinite screen of death for you all. I haven't figured it out yet. Okay, here it is, the Kickstarter. It went through. You can click follow along. Let me get you this into the chat here. For that, I'll get back over to that tab. I did reach out to Wondermaker. And then they did send out the ZR. It's not the 4 tool changer. They don't have the review units out for that yet, but they did send me the ZR enclosure right now, and the printer's on its way. So I can at least attest to the frame that it's going to be built on. And again, David should be getting that printer, and I'm excited for him for that. So we're going to see the regular ZR is 300 by 300 by 300. So we see a little bit of loss in that build plate volume because of the tool heads. But again, it's that 4 tool head system for those colors that the industry is moving to. Bigger volume, excuse me. And whoa, if that was the super early bird price, I really missed out on that one. That is interesting. It looks like they got plenty of funding. And let's look and see what's a little bit more in depth on this one. So the 4 spools are mounted on the side, but they're mounted next to each other. That's a different development from other systems like the Snapmaker, which has got the 4 here and so on. Unlike the Snapmaker, you're not going to get a fully assembled package. They advertise that right off the bat. You're going to have to assemble this one. I don't know how similar it's going to be to the current ZR, but we got that coming, and I will probably do, or I have to do as part of the review, an assembly video, or unboxing and assembly video. So we'll see how similar it might be. So $6.99, that price right there is a little misleading because that is the core Prusa XL, supports 5 colors, but I would have compared this printer to probably the Snapmaker when they did this. Assuming, I don't know when this came out. Maybe it came out before the Snapmaker. I don't know. But it's another entry into this wasteless printing era that we're going into. And I want to point out something here. If you've seen Flashforge and you've seen Elegoo, and now you see Wondermaker, do you see a similarity here? Take note of that because I'm going to cover it here in a little bit. Active chamber heating, that's excellent to see. Air filtration, great. The most important part of this printer, I would say right now, for as much as I know of it, is that extra entry into the tool changing world. Kyle Corlin, hey, it's Kyle. Hey, Kyle, how's it going? So those tool changers that are coming out, already out, they are pushing this industry in a way that we've rarely seen before. Um, we saw it when Bambu came out with the first iteration of multicolor printing. It may have came out slightly earlier than that, but Bambu was, as far as I'm aware of, really pushed it into the direction and really made it user friendly at that point. So the next part of this live stream, and if you're just joining live stream, we covered what printers are kind of late to the game into this tool changing world that we're about to head into. 2026 is going to be the year of the tool changer. I'm almost certain. Not the year of the horse. I mean, it is, but it's going to be the year of the tool changer. CJ, I really want a Kitty Q2, specifically for the engineering stuff over 300C. My Dusty Ender 3s can do all the rest for me. I think that's where we're going to be going. Not just for the Chidi, but once these tool changers and purgeless, wasteless filament or wasteless printing comes out, I think our other units are gonna go the way of single printing. I can already envision it for my units, especially even the ones behind me here, the Bambu P1Ss. I can see them loading up an AMS with 4 rolls of black or white or whatever if I got to do a single color print and just letting it go. I think that's the way those are going to go. I don't know. The industry is not fully developed yet for the tool changers and wasteless printing, but that's what I envision for this. What CAD do you use? I actually don't use any CAD, but if you're talking about like what slicers, it's going to be, I use Elegoo, or not Elegoo, I use Bambu Studio for my Bambu printers, and then I also use Orca Slicer for everything else, basically. So Kyle, if you want to see the new Hatchie palettes that we have coming out from like Cinderwing and things like that, we do post a lot of those in our shorts. So check those out to answer your comment. But where this market is going and where I envision it going over the next year, maybe 2 years, in April, I think somewhere along the lines of when the Flashforge is expected to release their Creator 5 Pro, I think Bambu is going to have an answer for us. And when I say an answer for us, I don't mean the H2C at that prosumer price point. I don't have an H2C. I can't really afford one of those as at this moment. I think they're going to have an entry into the wasteless game similar to this entry point. Whether you think it's going to be the P2C with the tool change or the nozzle changers, like a miniature version of the vortex system in the P2C X2C, or I heard through the rumor mill that maybe they're in backwards development of the tool changers. I don't know, but there has been a track history of about every 6 months, Bambu releases a product. Or thereabouts. In that time frame, from the last release of Bambu, I can't remember if it was the H2C or if it was the P2S, one of the two, came out in November. And that 6-month mark is right there at April. So that's where I'm expecting their next iteration to be. And it's either going to be their version of a tool changer and the ecosystem really flushed out for that. You can use your Bambu Handy app, you can use Bambu Studio, and it's really going to be flushed out. Or it's going to be this shrunk down vortex system. And they're going to figure out how to get that filament retraction time back. I think that's where they're going to go at for that. All right. So the next one that I'm going to talk about, my envision for this, I might get a little bit of heat for this, and that's okay. We're going to talk about Elegoo and where I think they're going. I think Elegoo has got something in R&D. I don't have proof of this. This is definitely speculation on my part, but let me talk about where I see it coming from. I see what they did with the Centauri Carbon. They did the frame of, you know, enclosed printer, single color, boom, got it down. Then they tackled the multicolor aspect, excuse me, with the Centauri Carbon 2. A year later, it's here, despite what they promised with the Centauri Carbon 1 and that whole deal. Now what I think they're going to do next, I think they're going to see where Snapmaker is doing with their tool head. I think they're going to see with Flashforge, who's got very similar style printers, and Wondermaker, who's got very similar style of printers and their boxed frame and their top hats, and they're going to put Tool Changer in theirs. They already have the canvas system that developed, just like with the Wondermaker printer that's coming out, just like the Flashforge we saw coming out, and that's why I said take note of it, chat family, replay family, and I'll catch up on the comments here in a second. But I think that's where Elegoo's headed. If I had to guess, that's probably what they have in development in the back end, but I don't know. All right, let's catch up with this. Iceman, Creality coming out with a tool changer too. I saw that Iceman, but I didn't have enough time to research that for this particular live stream. I am gonna try to get some of the nitty gritty on Creality's version of a tool changer. It just reinforces that is really where I think this whole ecosystem of 3D printing is going. It makes me wonder if Bambu bet on their Vortex system and maybe they're backing off of it a little bit. It'll still be their flagship printer. They're still going to love that H2C, but maybe they're going to develop something side by side with the two, or maybe they're going to double down on Vortex and figure out how to get that retraction time back. But to answer your comment there, Bart, I have a Cheaty X Smart 3. Can't say enough good things. It works, no drama. And that's the type of printer that I love here in the studio for the Glorious Geeks. A printer that doesn't have any drama, that I can plug it in and push play like VCR days, and it just goes. All right, Kyle, thanks for checking in on the live stream. I hope you have a wonderful night. We'll see you on the next Print Pretzels. But this whole industry is going to push each other in a way that we're not going to have seen in a very long time. 2026, we're going to see all these. If you're in the market for a 3D printer and you can wait, I would highly, highly suggest look and see what's coming out there. Look at some of the stuff that we've said on the live stream tonight. Look at other creators that are out there that are covering this topic too, and stay informed. Don't buy something because it's flashy and it's new and it just got released from the company, unless you want to. That's totally up to you. But be informed is what I would like to state. David, tool changer with an AMS-like device would be a decent compromise as long as the slicer optimizes how to load the filament. David, you hit the nail on the head on that comment. And that is where I think Snapmaker is going to go. And this is what I hinted at earlier. Thanks for that transition, David. If you look at your Snapmaker U1, look at the ports that you have on your machine. Do they look familiar? Like on your Bambu P1Ss, or your Bambu A1s, or your X1 Carbons, or your H2Cs? Do you see a 6-pin port? I do. Do you see a 4-pin port? I do. What accessories are they going to bring to the Snapmaker U1 to give us more out of the machine other than 4 colors? Will they? I don't know, but those ports are there. Bart, so what's the deal with these blue cold plates I keep seeing? Are they that much better? Bart, yes, absolutely yes. I have them on all the machines I can have them on here in the studio, except for the A1 Mini, or the A1 right now and the A1 Mini. I'm doing a test on those 2 machines. But as you can see behind me, the P1S, all 3 of them have it. My Snapmaker has it. From time to time, I swap out the build plate with my Centauri Carbon from my Bambu plates. It's slightly smaller, but it still works. But it does make a difference. You can print at a lower temperature, saves energy. And what really made a difference for me, and the Snapmaker one's in the chat or in the description if you want to check it out on BQ's site. Michigan here, especially during the early parts of winter, we can have a lot of power outages. And with the cryo plates specifically, if I have a power outage for 30 minutes or more, I have a high chance of that print resuming and not popping off the plate like you do with the gold PEI plates that you have. The only time I've had a power outage that has been with a BQ plate and then didn't stay on the plate, it wasn't because of the BQ plate's fault. The tool head didn't resume in the right spot and it knocked them off the plate. And then also bent the nozzle. So, but I can't state enough good things about BQ. We are affiliated with them, but I'm not sponsored with them in any way. If you click on that link below, it just gives us I think it's a 4% kickback for transparency purposes of helping out the channel. But I've used these for a very long time. You can actually go back on the live streams if you really want to and check out before we had any affiliation with BQ. I just really love these plates, and they're coming out with new colors. We're actually testing out the purple plate right now for them. It works just as well, if not better, than the blue ones we have, because the blue ones we have are a year and a half old now. I could probably replace them at some point, but they still work just fine. So we're testing that out right now. I'll have a review video out coming in the next 2 or 3 weeks for that. I hope that answers your question. Giovanni, way better. Yes, I agree. And there's other industry players that are coming out with their plates too. I just know BQ's works, and I can speak on that. So, but back to the industry shift. Again, Elegoo is going to be doing their thing with taking what people. This is their bread and butter. They take what other companies have done and they do it at a more budget-friendly option. These tool changers that are coming out. Yes, we paid $8.99 to back to Snapmaker U1. I think that is well valued, but that I think these new players are going to continue to drive that industry down to a more affordable price for these tool changers, like Snapmaker did from the Prusa XL and the H2C down to that $1,000 mark. I think it might even go further than that. But the only time I had adhesion issues is when I get dumb and try to print silk PLA that's 10 years old. I can agree with that statement. I've got some really moisture-soaked filament here in the studio, and I'll have adhesion issues at that point. But that is user error, and I throw that into our Sunlu AMS heater on a slot that I'm not using and dry it out for a couple hours, and I'm good to go. So I can definitely attest to that. But if you're just joining the live stream, we've talked about the printers that are late to the game. I'm not going to say you shouldn't get them, but I'm going to say do your investigation and what fits your budget. Are you in for multicolor? Okay, if you are, what's your budget? And if your budget is $500 or less right now, yes, that would be an entry point into the multicolor, but you're going to have filament waste. That filament waste and time is going to add up over time. So you have to, as a consumer, think about the long term. What would benefit you long term? And we have a review video coming out in the next probably 48 hours. I'm finishing the editing on that to get a comparison between the Snapmaker U1 and the Bambu P1S, and just what that filament waste really looks like across 3 prints. So stay tuned for that one. John, what build plate would you recommend for ASA? I don't have a whole lot of experience with ASA, but BQ did let me know that when I received the purple plate, that ASA should print just fine on that plate. But I can't speak on that because I can't print with ASA in the studio here because I do have our furry management teams here, and I don't have like that high capacity filtration system in place yet. CJ, PEI or G10 for ABS or ASA? My vote anyways. Okay, that's a good chat family response to have, and that's what I appreciate about our community here. We can help each other out, and that's what we're trying to build here at the Glorious Geese. Not only, we're trying to build a channel, but we want to try to build a community where we work together to figure out our printing problems, and that's what this particular live stream is all about. Dropping those questions in the chat family or replay family in the comments. CJ, one of my printers is an old Ender 3 The only thing it prints is ABS, ASA, and nylon. G10 build plate, no enclosure, no glue, no problems. That's awesome, especially ABS. My experience in ABS before I had this particular resonance was on the Neptune 4 Pro, and it kicked my butt without having that enclosure and that controlled temperature, always warping off the build plate. But it's cool to see that you can get that without that enclosure. John, I'm on PI now, thank you. Awesome. Glad that we were able to help you there, John. So Blackest, the downside I'm seeing with the AMS is that even only running one color, I get 2 to 3 proofs for a single color print. Yeah, there is still that when it gets to the new roll per se, it still has to poop out a little bit. Hopefully YouTube doesn't flag me for the word poop. But it does have to purge a little bit out of there to get the pressure in the nozzle right, if I'm remembering that correctly. You get that little bit of trade-off, but you want that consistency for the pressure to continue to print properly. Support. Multi-tool head is the future. Hopefully more cheaper brands come with them quickly, like Elegoo or Flashforge did. And so I am, yes, support noob. It is 100% my firm belief that is where the industry is going, is the multi-tool head way. And if it's not the multi-tool head way, it's at least going to be the filament printing without purge way, or minimal purge, prime tower, just for pressure for your nozzle, and minimal purge pellets. My cats in here in the studio are going to be a little sad they don't have purge pellets to knock around the floor, but they'll get over it. But it's definitely where the industry is going. So now I want to open up the live stream to any questions you might have for anything we have here in the studio, or anything that maybe the chat family can answer. This is the part of Print Pretzels where I want to open it up and say, all right, guys, here's what we covered. What is your opinions and thoughts on this? It's important to have that as part of our Glorious Geeks family. Iceman, I don't have, whoa, where'd it go? I lost it on my live stream chat. But it's really important to have that as the live stream and as part of the bigger Glorious Geeks family, because I want to build that community here for you all, that we can come together and enjoy this 3D printing journey together. Iceman, I don't have my chroma kit yet for the Arco, and it feels so old now. Yes, and that's another risk, Iceman. Thank you for pointing that out. When it comes to Kickstarters, you could get the golden goose, or you could get the lame duck. I mean, you don't know what you're gonna get. You could get a printer that will never exist, so you don't really get a printer. I want to say that was the Eufy make that came out with that, or you could get the opposite end of the spectrum, the Snapmaker U1. So when you back a Kickstarter printer, just be aware that is a risk that you take. If you don't want to have any risk, you have to wait until it is out on the market. You see those review units, you see creators have, gotten the units in their studios to review, to show you what it does and what it's capable of. And that's zero risk. If you're okay with the high risk end, that's what Kickstarter is for. That's what, I see this, I want to help this get the market going in another way. David, I had to send my Arco back to Frozen because I tried to repair the, I want to say it's the motherboard or swap out the motherboard with what they provided me, and it didn't work. So I don't know where that's at right now. I'll be able to give you guys an update on that later. It's currently being shipped back to Frozen. James, yeah, the Arco is a great printer, but it's late to the game. It is late to the game. What I did like about that printer, though, that flying gantry, I think that has a very big potential, and the low center of gravity. I think that has a big potential too if Frozen continues with that in the future. The U1 was my first backed Kickstarter. Hashtag no regrets. Bart, yes. It's a great first Kickstarter backing. That is a 99.9% perfect outcome. I mean, the only way that they could have done it better is if they got here faster, and I don't think they could have done that much better. It got here pretty quick. Blockus 21. I am about 2 years into printing. The first year I ran jigs and nothing else for sale. In the last couple months, I have found some cool functional prints and I have been having a blast. And it's awesome to hear the experiences of other users out there in the 3D printing community. It is such a blast to be able to see comments like that from in the chat from other users out there and other viewers, to know that this hobby is bringing joy. If and like retros or a juxtaposition of that, last week we covered the 3D printing ban and what that could cause, and how it could suck the joy out of the community. So if you're in those states that those legislations are happening, talk to your legislator or write them an email. Just be proactive on that. Right now in Michigan, there's nothing happened, so I don't want to say I don't have a duck in the race, but I don't have a voice in the fight, because I don't live in Washington or New York. If I did, I would definitely be advocating for that. And I'm still advocating for it because it's important. That legislation is not, I hope it doesn't pass as written. Catching up on the comments. Elegoo Centauri Carbon 2 or Bambu Lab P2S from Lukey. That's a hard one. Lukey, yeah. I would say the P2S, and here's why. Elegoo Centauri Carbon, it offers 4 colors. If you are into multicolor printing and that is your budget that you have, and you don't want to wait for these tool changers coming out, the P2S is going to offer you expanded color capability. You're not going to be able to just print with 4 colors. If you want to get an additional AMS later, you have that expandability of the ecosystem. So I hope that answers your question. But pay attention to what the market's coming out. Go back on this live stream and watch what we've covered tonight. What we wouldn't get right now, because one was the Anycubic Kobra X, Creality X, and the Elegoo Centauri Carbon 2. We feel, and I especially feel, that those are late entries into the multicolor game, and the rest of the 3D printing universe is at the tool changer points. James, but convince me to never do a Kickstarter again. James, when you say, James, for the Arco, yes, that's the trade-off. It was very nerve-wracking through that entire 1.5 to 2 year process. So I understand your frustrations there. Let's see here. David, the X1C was my first Kickstarter. Still have that printer. The X1C, I think, is going to be around for a very long time. I know it's not being sold on the Bambu Lab website right now, but I think they're going to continue pushing firmware updates in that for a very long time, as long as they push the ones for the P1S, because it's a very similar printer. Bart, it was just missing that sweet top. Walmart bin top mod will do for now, but it needs a carbon filtration for us ASA guys. Bart, pay attention to BQ. This is going to come out way sooner than the Snapmaker top hat is going to come out, I believe. BQ's got a top hat coming out for that, and they're also going to offer an upgrade with their Pan of Breath that'll offer a heater that you can install to it as well. So stay tuned for that one. David, now the M5 I backed out of the same well. Not so much. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like it's pulling a rabbit out of the hat when it comes to Kickstarter printers. There's always risk involved. Sean Prince, Bambu P2S, looking. Yes, again, that Bambu P2S is going to add an element of expansion, in our opinion. You're going to be able to expand your printer, and the AMS units will carry over to other printers if you decide to expand your printer in that ecosystem. If you get an A1 and you wind up getting 2 AMS units for the P1S before you get the A1, you can use your AMS unit over on the A1. As you can see here, I have an AMS2 Pro on top of the A1. Blackus, are you, or Blackus21, and I hope I'm pronouncing these names right, guys. I apologize if I'm not. Are you 3D printing full time? Yes, I would definitely say I'm 3D printing full time. We do art fairs here in West Michigan. We have a whole slew of art fairs we're going to be doing this summer, starting in May all the way through December. So stay tuned if you're interested in that kind of stuff for content for us. I'm going to try to push a lot of that out in shorts and not so much in our long form content. And maybe at the end of the year, I'll do like a long form content compilation of those shorts, something of that line. But that full-time printing throughout the winter is for preparation of the summer art fairs here in Michigan. CJ, so with the topic of your live stream, I haven't heard you talk about Bondtech. What you think about their coming changers system? In my honest opinion, 2026 is the year of very open source versus closed. CJ, the reason why I didn't talk about the Bondtech system too much is because I don't have too much knowledge on that. I know it's very promising, but I know the Prusa so far is more of the tinkerer side of 3D printing. I don't know if the Bondtech is going to be that way, but I know with their past models of printers, they're very tinkerer, and that's not to say a bad thing, but I am definitely more of a plug and play because I have a business that kind of surrounds the it saves me time with the plug and play type style. If you're into the tinkerers and you like doing upgrades and stuff like that, absolutely. I think the Bondtech's gonna be a very fun system, and I would love if Prusa were to ever reach out to me and say, hey, do you want to try our Bondtech? I would totally say yes, because I think it's a very promising system. And I see on their on Prusa's X Twitter page, they're constantly posting updates. On Facebook, I see them. So I definitely think it's got a very promising start. And I will try to feature more of that into live streams like these. So I appreciate that feedback. All right, let's see. Sean Prince 81, Bambu A1 for farms. Yes, and if you've seen content out there by Farm Loop, they use I believe the A1s for that specific purpose. If you have smaller printers like the A1 Mini, like we have over there, he's taking a break right now. But I have the Chi2 plate cycler C1M that I'm doing a review video for right now. And let me tell you, it advertises up to 10 build plates that you can print off as a farm loop, and it is crazy the things that you can print off. These little fidget jellyfish things, I went off and I wanted to see what the tops were, if I could farm loop them per se, and yeah, it worked. And I'm currently editing that content as well. Things are always in the works around here until they're not, and then they're on YouTube. Let's see. Or Prusa MK4S. Yeah, I don't know much about the Prusa MK4S, but I will try to remember to look into that. Lukey, yes, that answered my question. Thank you. Absolutely. I'm glad we could get that answered for you. CJ, they already announced the end of life for the X1C. No more after 2027. Oh, was not aware of that. That's important to know. So I want to say that I saw an announcement from Bambu that they're going to continue supporting the P1S until the end of 2029, I want to say. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what I saw. So that piques my interest of why they're getting rid of the X1C's line before the P1S line, or the P series line. That's something I'm gonna have to look into, because when it came out, they advertised the X1C as their flagship model. Why are they not going with that anymore? Why are they using a different? Is it because of popularity? Was the P1S way more popular than the X1C because it's cheaper? I don't know. It's interesting to point out. I appreciate that. Mr. Brickman. So for my birthday, I'm about to get some money and probably buy a printer. I want the P1S. Is it preferred to get an AMS, or is it pointless with such a smaller budget? It It really depends. Do you like to print with multicolor? And stay tuned for the next 24 to 48 hours. I'm working on this actually very topic of a comparison of the Snapmaker U1 to the P1S. So you get to see the cost of filament waste. If you have the budget for the P1S combo, but not the budget for the Snapmaker U1, absolutely. The P1S with the AMS, it gives you extended single color capability. And when I say extended, I mean you don't have to change out your filament roll at the end of a roll. If you're doing a long print and need to change it out, the AMS will do it for you with the cost of 2 purge pellets, or 1 or 2 purge pellets. And then it also gives you multicolor capability at the cost of purge. I hope that answers your question, Mr. Brickman. Bardicus3521, cool, we'll watch BQ, thank you. Absolutely. David, I can't see a Bambu moving away from their AMS anytime soon. They can't make enough for demand, that's their cash cow. David, I think you're absolutely correct on that in the comments or in the chat. I don't see them moving away from their AMS, and to be honest, if you look behind me on the wall, I'd be very sad if they did, because I think a lot of people in the ecosystem do have the AMS. I think they're going to make it more efficient when it comes to swapping in and out. They're going to figure out that time aspect, and it's going to be one of 2 ways, in my opinion. I could be wrong on this. Chat family, replay family, this is pure speculation on my part. I think it's going to be like what the AtomForm did. They're going to have that filament ready to go somehow. I don't know if maybe if you have 2 AMS units, it's going to try to program the AMS units to have it ready to go, or they're going to go the route of the actual tool changer where you can put, for example, if Snapmaker could use the AMS units, which that'll never happen, but you can put an AMS unit on each tool head. And I shouldn't say never happen. It'll never happen with the Bambu product line. Now watch it happen. I said it, and it's on the internet forever. But you can put an AMS on each tool head, which would make a lot of sense in my opinion, because then that tool head has those 4 colors ready to swap in and out, and that's 16 colors. That gives you capability to swap in and out. So I think they have something in the works. I'm not I'm not even affiliated with them. I don't have an affiliate link with them yet. I've reached out to them, Lunar New Year, but that's where they're going to go with that, in my opinion. Let's catch up on these comments here. Scrolling down. I just got the Spark X i7 and it has been great. Would that be a good option also? Blackus 21. So earlier in the live stream, I did state that the Creality X i7 is what I believe it's called, is the clone of the Bambu Lab A1 series, and specifically the A1. They changed some of the technology, and it's from what I've seen in the advertised. I don't have this unit in house. I would love to review it at some point, if possible. But from what I've seen, that printer is still going to be in that range of purge waste. And if you're looking to have a printer that's going to be in the ecosystem and budget friendly long term, one of these tool changers that are coming out in the next 6 to 8 months is going to be the route to go long term, I believe. I don't know this. I don't have a magic crystal ball. I really wish I did, because this ecosystem, the 3D printing world, moves so fast. Just a few years ago, we were just getting the multicolor units, and Bambu had figured out, okay, this is how we can print in multicolor, and some of the other players in the industry really helped push that aspect. And now we're here, we're figuring out purge waste. So the i7 for Creality, it did just come out. I know it's a new printer, but it's still in that realm of purge waste, and that is one of the last units of the last generation to in comparison to the new generation that we're headed into. Think of it as the iPhones. When the iPhone 10 came out, I know we're way past that now. The iPhone 10 was still coming out, but the iPhone 11 came out. Did iPhone 11 make the iPhone 10 obsolete? No, it didn't. But what it did is it did push the industry along, and specifically the Apple products along, and eventually the iPhone 10 fell off product support. And that's where I think the i7 is going to be at. It's a new product. Creality is going to keep it around for a while, and then eventually they're going to move into the tool-headed changing era, or at the very minimum, purge-less printing era. I hope that helps to answer your question. CJ, they are supporting spare parts further than 2027 for the X1C, just no more production or firmware. It makes sense. There's a lot of similarities, CJ, for the X1C and the P1S. I almost want to say that they're probably on the same frame. So there's probably a lot of spare parts that can swap in and out. I know some of the camera assisted features and stuff like that are a little bit different. I don't have an X1C. I wish I did, because I know that's a really nice printer. But at the time when I first started 3D printing, the P1S was a more budget-friendly option, and it still is. If you can get your hands on an X1C, it does have more advanced features than the P1S, but I can see why that they're going to have additional parts for the longer term. Mr. Brickman, thanks. Absolutely, I'm glad to help, or glad we could help. David Walton, AMS2 with dual PTFE tubes, so to speed things up. That would be interesting. Would they call it the AMS3 at that point? Where they have, here's where I could see it along your lines of thinking, David. Not necessarily dual, but what if they did 4 on the outside and they somehow narrowed it into the 4-to-1 adapter? And there was a sensor somewhere in there that just says, okay, I'm ready, I'm writing, okay, time to go. I think that's what they could do. I like the way you're thinking on that one. CJ, Mr. Brinkman, you can always just get the P1S just to get started and then add an AMS later when you can swing it. Absolutely. That is a very valid answer. You can get the P1S if if that just the machine is within your budget, and then add the AMS if you find that you really want to get into the multicolor aspect of printing. Mr. Brinkman, so would it cost more than to then buy the AMS after instead of with it? I believe that the bundle price is slightly lower because it's coming together, but it's more of really, do you want to pay for it now or do you want to pay for it later? That is where your answer is gonna lie. For me, in particular, if I had the budget of that $500, I think it's like $500, maybe $600 now, of that unit in the combo, I would lean towards getting the combo just to have the additional capability features for it. But I do want to state there is something that I want to point out, since you're looking at this specifically. There is a difference between the AMS and AMS2 Pro. If you're looking at that actually specifically, the AMS was the original AMS unit that came out, obviously, but what you're not going to be able to really print with that long term is going to be anything that has carbon fiber in it or has any of those additives in it, like glow PLA or marble PLA, anything that's got a abrasive wood PLA, it's got an abrasive texture to it, it's going to wear those ceramic inlets out. The AMS2 Pro that I have right here and right here handles that so much better. Now you're gonna, with an abrasive filament, it's gonna wear your PTFE tubes out either way. I will say that changing out the PTFE tubes on the AMS2 Pro, monstrously easier to do because you don't have to disassemble the unit. And if you want to get more information on that, check out our maintenance videos specifically on the AMS and AMS2 Pro, and I have one on the AMS HT. If you really want to understand the inner workings of the AMS systems before you get it. David, quick compare i7 26 hours, 340 grams versus A1 22 hours, 350 grams. I see 10 grams total, and the Bambu one A1 was faster than the i7. Thank you, David, for that shout out. Since you have those two printers, or for that comment, I really appreciate that. That's an awesome comparison to have on the live. Mr. Bergman, all right, just curious, what's my best printer? I gotta ask you a question back. What's my best single color printer? Or what's my best multicolor printer? And is budget a factor? And this will be a sneak peek for the next video that I'm gonna release. If I'm strictly speaking from Mr. Brickman's single color printer, for speed, Centauri Carbon, by far. Very fast. The Elegoo Centauri Carbon. The P1S is right up there though. I wouldn't say it's very much far behind it. I will say my Elegoo Centauri Carbon does shake a little bit more. But when it comes to single color printing, the Elegoo Centauri Carbon is faster. I think the P1S is has more capability to it, especially if you have the AMS on unit. I can print for extended period of times without having to swap the filament. JD, chat family, you're gonna have to help me out on this one. JD, thoughts on Creality K1 Max? I know it's a big printer. I don't have it. I know it's enclosed, but let's look at it real quick. Let me pull it up and then I'll get you guys on screen share. My first thoughts on that is going to be I got it pulled up now. Screen capture time for ASA or ABS. My first thoughts on the Creality K1 Max for ASA, ABS, especially ABS. It's possible to print without an enclosure, but it's, from what I understand, it's much easier. I know when I first started with ABS, it was a pain in the butt. I can't currently print with ABS right now because I have furry friends in the studio here, and in order for me to do that, I really need a filtration system going. I'm testing the Frozen Air Purifier Max right now to see if it can handle that kind of stuff. So stay tuned for that. Upgrade your printing palette. So large build volume. Now, is this a pre-order? Is this a... No, this is already out. So it's a Creality machine. And the K1 Max build volume is 300 by 300 by 300. It's enclosed. I'm looking to see if it's got heated chamber, because that's going to make a difference for especially for ABS, because you're going to want that additional heat. And chat family, definitely feel free to drop in and chime in. For an object detection, okay, that's great. I just need to see if it has a heated chamber. Heated bed, which will help with keeping the chamber heated. Air purifier, so it looks like it's got good air purification. Offhand. There are definitely some review videos out there, so that's good. Okay, so here's where it can tell us some nitty-gritty information. Supported filaments. It does say ABS and ASA are supported for the machine, and if you ever do want to print with multicolor, it does look like it can be combined with their multicolor system. The K1 Max, I'm going to have to say can print in ABS, but since I don't have the machine, I can't fully speak on it. But chat family, if you have it and you've printed with those materials, please feel free to jump into the live stream chat and answer this question. Let's catch up on this chat. Mr. Brickman, how about your favorite? My favorite right now, Snapmaker. Just because I can print things on it, I can't print anything on anything else in the studio. Dang, I just took it outside today into the garage for the storefront. But I don't have anything down here to show you. You can check out some of our shorts. I've printed some massive things like the massive 3D printed articulated rubber duck, a giant dragon, and if maxed out the build plates. And I would never, ever, ever, I can't stress that enough, print that on the Bambu P1S. I couldn't because it's not the same build size, it's smaller. But because of the purge waste, it would just be so astronomical, especially some of those, the cherry blossom dragon that I did, the filament swaps, even with color calibrations that you can do to help eliminate color purge. I wanted to print the model, but I couldn't justify wasted so much filament. So the Snapmaker has really changed how I even look at multicolor 3D printing. It is now I don't just look at it as, is it worth it to print it? Now I have to look at it as, okay, how many colors is it? Is it more than 4 colors? Dang, I can't print it yet. So that's where I'm at with the Snapmaker U1. It is my favorite printer in the studio. And sorry, Bambu, sorry, Elegoo fans. I don't mean that to create. I have printed with these for a very long time, and they were my favorites for a very, very long time. And I'm still well invested into the ecosystem. If I had an H2C, I actually wouldn't be able to answer that question, I don't think, because H2C gives you 7 colors, but it's got the filament retraction time. So I don't know that. But as of right now, in this moment, the Snapmaker gives me capabilities to print that any other machine in the studio can't when it comes to multicolor printing. I hope that answers your question, Mr. Brickman. And if you, chat family, if you're thinking about getting the Snapmaker U1, we do have an affiliate link in the description that does help out on the channel. We get a small kickback at no cost to you. JD, thoughts on Creality K1 Max? It has a heated bed chamber, but not crazy heating. So JD, to answer that question specifically about ABS and ASA, from what I can tell, from what I saw on the Creality website, it has the capabilities to do it. I wish I had one to speak more further in depth on that. It's tough because I don't have it. But I would definitely want to say that since they advertise, it should be capable of doing so. That is just about as far as I can reach into that realm for that answer for you. And that heated chamber is going to be important, especially for my experience with ASA, or not ASA, ABS, with the lifting off the build plate. The more stable you can keep that temperature in an environment, the better your prints will turn out to be. It's just been a long time since I printed with ABS because of the studio environment that I now have. I'm hoping to get our laser engraver back in the studio once I get that ventilation system set up. I've only eaten 2 pretzels on a live stream. That's good. Answering plenty of questions on the chat. I appreciate you all attending the live stream tonight. So to recap tonight's live stream, we talked about printers that have come out recently that even one of them I have a coupon to get, and I didn't get it because I think it's late to the game. Those printers were the Anycubic Kobra X, Creality X i7, and the Elegoo Centauri Carbon 2. I don't say that to start any wars or anything, but currently where we're at in the studio, because we run a business environment for multicolor printing for these art fairs, what I am specifically looking at is I want to get as efficient with filament waste as possible just because I want to be better, be better for the ecosystem of the world. The less filament purge I'm throwing away, the better I will sleep at night. And two, it saves money, which just saves money, and then it also saves time without changing out the filaments with our AMS systems. I am printing a couple of AMS or multicolor prints on the printers behind me. They are by Makerize 3D. They are Pokemon fidget clickers, and they're short, so I can really focus on minimizing that purge waste. With how the taller your model is, and the more color it is, the colors there are, the more waste you're going to get. So shorter filament or shorter prints, I feel a little bit more comfortable doing, especially now that I have a Snapmaker U1. You'll see our Hatchy Pals with our shorts videos out there. We print those usually on our P1Ss. Maybe as the tool changers come out, we'll get more of those onto that. I want to try some of those because they got really small adhesion areas on the Snapmaker U1. That's going to be my next, after this next video, it'll be like my next testing. I really want to test multiple friction points on that bed plate or build plate. At Grogan, index or other tool changers. It depends on what type of printer you are. And when I say printer, I don't mean printer. I mean hobbyist, consumer, prosumer, whatever you want to call yourself. Are you more of a tinkerer, or are you more of a plug and play type person? I want it out of the box and ready to go. For me specifically, I, especially with the business aspect of it, of doing these art fairs and going out and bringing joy to our community as well, because we do some events like Hatchy Pal Egg Hunt. We hide eggs in the community and stuff. I haven't patented that yet, so feel free to take that to your community chat family and bring joy to your community if you're doing that. But it really depends on if you're the type of hobbyist you are and what your needs are. Other tool changers is going to be my answer. That may not be your answer. I know that sounds very political, but it's very true. As far as I know about Prusa and their past machines, they're more of the tinkerer. And when I was just printing for myself, I absolutely found joy in upgrading my machines. But as I went more into the business side of 3D printing, that joy is still there to do the tinkering and upgrades, but it's got to be more selective. Like I just did the upgrades for the P1S here. I did the status bar, like the H2C. And that was actually a joy, and I'll hit that comment, get that content out to you guys. But that's really shifted to, now I have so many printers, now I have so many prints I need to do. I need it to be more time efficient. I need it to be ready to go out of the box. So that's a good aspect for my reviews going forward, especially those unboxings that I'm going to put out there for you guys now that I see that as a good identification. So thank you for the question, and also thank you for that feedback that I just realized. Bart, I imagine reducing purge waste reduces your electricity costs a tiny bit too. Less melting and purging on. I think you're right. I think it probably will reduce your electricity costs. I've noticed when the purge happens, the nozzle heats up more. I don't for PLA. I want to say I see it heat up to 250. You could probably change that in the settings somehow, some way. I don't know that for sure, but probably. But I see your point on that, on that can save electricity over time. That's actually a really good point to see. I appreciate that. And if you guys are enjoying this type of live stream where we can chit chat on the back half of it, smash that like button. Get this out there to other people that that are in the hobby, that we can help answer those questions for. And if I can't answer them, that's what the chat family is there for. And Replay family, that's what you're there for. If you see a comment that no one's answered, feel free to answer it in a polite manner as a Glorious Geeks family member. Because we're all here in this hobby trying to enjoy it, whether it's a business aspect or it's a hobbyist aspect. We're here to have fun and print and enjoy this hobby. And you may have other reasons to be in it too, but that's what we are here specifically for. The Glorious Geeks is to bring joy to others. Grogan, I'm a tinkerer. Awesome. Yeah, then Prusa is definitely an ecosystem built for the tinkerer, in my opinion. And again, I would love to be like a reviewer on the IDEX or index system, because I think it's going to be a very, just like when they I mean, they were the progenitors of the tool changer. They released the XL. Without the XL innovation that's out there, where would the tool changers be? Would somebody else have developed it, or would something else have developed it, or developed in its place? So uh, I definitely think Prusa is definitely earned its place in the 3D printing community. Uh, I didn't try to slight them in any which way by not including them there. Uh, this topic on these live streams, or this live stream specifically tonight, is more for the consumer that looks at their box and says, okay, I know there's a printer in there. I'm not even thinking about assembling anything. I just want it to go. As far as the Prusa ecosystem, they have a lot of innovation behind the scenes. The gentleman that's behind Prusa, I can't remember his name right now, Joseph Prusa. He's always working behind the scenes. I see the posts on X on how they're having meetings on at the Prusa headquarters on the index system, and I know he's a very motivated and passionate individual. So it's really cool to see that there is a very passionate individual behind that company. So if you're just joining the live stream tonight, feel free to drop any questions you have in the comments. This second half, I want to say like the last third of it, more like it, is for these Q&A, print and pretzels. Hey, I got this printer. This is what I'm experiencing. What do you think about this? Or that's what this part is really for, because I really want to encourage community together, because this is a fun hobby. We all enjoy being, I can't say we all do, but for the most part, I would hope that we all enjoy our 3D printing and what it brings to us. And as you can see, we have 4 furry management friends here in the studio, and you can see one of them behind me, Dante, who loves to use, actually a lot of the, I think 3 of the 4 cats like to use the printers, especially the P1Ss behind me, as cat purchase and beds because they're heated. That's why it's important to really print in VOC friendly materials. Dante's just enjoying his warmth back there. And if you want to see a very, very funny cat blooper, check out our frozen enclosure video. I just snuck a blooper in there for you guys to see. Dante lived up to his name. There was something else that I wanted to talk about in the live stream tonight too. I'm trying to remember what it was. David touched on it earlier, is what it was. The Creality tool changer is coming out, but I don't have much to say on that one because it's really There's not a whole lot of news on it that I've seen. I've seen some content creators out there that have also stated that it's coming out, but I think it's really kind of hush hush right now. Um, I'm really excited for the Flashforge one coming out in theoretically April as of this time frame. I think I saw something about Cheaty coming out with a tool changer at some point. So again, 2026 is the year of the horse, but really for 3D printers, it's the year of the tool changer. And I think the best way to sum up anything that isn't a tool changer that's coming out now is going to be legacy tech. It's and I shouldn't say tool changer. I should say in the realm of filament wasteless printing. Uh, Anything that's going to be filament wasteful printing is going to be that legacy tech from this point forward. I don't see after this machine hit the market, and I knock on wood, I have not had any issues with my Snapmaker U1 when it comes to tool heads. That was one of my biggest concerns about it when it came out, was with all those filaments or with all those tool changes swaps, how are those pins going to hold up? How are, like, is my printer not going to resume in the right spot when it takes? No, I haven't had any of those issues. One time, maybe two times, it's hard to remember at this point. The printer has paused and it didn't resume properly, but when I clicked the resume feature, it just kept on going. So that's ironed out. I'm thoroughly impressed, especially if this came off a Kickstarter. I'm very impressed with where it's at. Bart, if Cheaty drops a tool changer, I'm instantly interested. Well, let me take a look because I want to say I saw it somewhere. I'm going to put you guys on screen capture here in just a second as I do a search. Because I'm curious as well. I want to say I saw it somewhere. I'm looking, but I don't see it. I'll try to keep my antennas tuned for that one. I saw it somewhere. Maybe it was a Facebook post or another content creator out there that I saw. I'm always trying to keep my antennas tuned for what's out there in the 3D printing world. So I'll keep that in mind for you, Bart. David, Creality equals hit or miss for hit or miss for reliability, but at least their machines are easier to service. David, when you say they're easier to service, do you mean like maintenance periods? That would be a question I have. Is the i7, or do you not know at this point because it's so new, is the i7 easier to do maintenance on than the A1? Because I didn't touch on this earlier. Mr. Brickman, if you're still in the live stream, one thing that I wish the P1S had that the P2S has is that quick swapping nozzle. It's if you're not printing with as many units as I have, 3 of them, it's not as big as probably a pain in the butt as it would be for me. But the quick swapping nozzle, it literally, you undo the clasp, you take it off the magnetic plate, and then you put the new one in if you want to swap your nozzle. If you have a nozzle, if you have a clog, if you have, I mean, it's really easy. The A1 and A1 Mini have it. I wish there was a modification I could do to the P1S that could put that in there. But the P2S has that quick swapping nozzle. That was one of the refresh upgrades that happened. If we weren't so late in the game for the tool changers and the multicolor wasteless printing, I may have gotten the P2S already. I don't know, or I do know. That's why I haven't gotten it yet. I don't. At this point in time, for me specifically, the innovation is going to happen at a rapid pace over the next 6, 8, 12 months for these new printers coming out. Other companies are going to catch up. I think Bambu's in the process of releasing something new between now and if it comes later than June, I will be really, really surprised because this printer specifically is eating up a lot of market share. The Kickstarter, I think it was like $2 million that they earned just on Kickstarter alone, just from pre-orders. I know for a long time up until recently, they were backed up for orders. Now they're finally getting caught up to printer orders. So the fact that they were backed up because of all the pre-orders tells me that they did something right. The market was craving it. Now these other companies have to figure out how they address the same thing that this addressed. The Snapmaker U1 being what I'm talking about. Black is 21. I don't know compared to an A1, but it has a quick release extruder. Yes, that is exactly what I'm talking about. I want to say, don't quote me on this, because I don't have the P2S, but I'm pretty sure it's the same nozzle or very similar. I know it's not the same nozzle as the H2C, because it's got its own induction heating hot end, but I'm pretty sure that the quick swap nozzle is, well, actually I can look right now just to confirm that. No, it is not directly the same, though they share similar quick swapping. The P2S is considered higher flow. That's what I'm seeing. You can get away with using the A1 nozzle on a P2S if you're in a pinch, but they're not identical. But I'm gonna look at Bambu Lab's website real quick. Store, accessories. Yeah, they have them in a different. They have them in a different section. So I'm gonna say that they are ever so slightly different. Yeah, I can see it. I'll show it to you guys on the screen. So I gotta correct that statement before it gets permanently put on the internet. I'll get you on screen capture so I can show you guys. So, oops, I was over here at accessories for the P2S. So if you look at, I'm gonna scroll over here, look at the height of this nozzle here, and then I'm gonna go to, this is for the P2S, and then look at the height of the nozzle here. That is definitely different. So making sure I put out the correct information. They are different, but they are quick swap, both quick swap. I am almost certain that Bambu Lab learned what they liked about the quick swap nozzle for the A1, and then when they released the P2S, they improved it. I think that's what happened. So, but back, long story short, that quick swapping nozzle makes such a huge difference it would for me anyways. To unscrew it and then unplug it and then rescrew it and plug it back in when you're already operating multiple machines. It's just the little things. So Blockus 21, you are correct. It's not quite the same, but it does have the quick release option. I saw on a video somewhere back that there's a mod that you can do that puts the quick stopping nozzle on the Elegoo Centauri Carbon. I don't remember if it's from the A series or the P series. I want to say Uncle Jesse did the video, so shout out to him on that. But I went to go order the part to do it, and they're out, probably because it's so popular. I got a question for you, chat family. If there was a review or there was a topic you would like to see a video on, drop it in the comments. Replay family, if you're watching this far in the video, drop it in the comments. What kind of content do you want to see? As a creator, I love making content. The editing part, not so much, but the content creation part is the fun part. David, I think you a while back suggest it was either David or maybe it was Iceman. Somebody, one of our OGs, said that the build plate review, what the difference between the build plates. I'm working on that video. I actually just got a new set of, I'll show it to you guys here somewhere. A new plate in the studio. It's a holographic plate that transfers this texture on to, it's got this double-sided. I want to say I ordered this off of Bambu Lab's website. And it's just got some cool textures on it. I tested out one on it and it transferred very well. But if you use this plate, it is very hard to get things to stick on it. I used hairspray to help me with that one. And it doesn't mess up the texture or anything. Just make sure you clean it off with soap and water when you go to use it again. But this you can actually really see it on camera. This texture comes off on the bottom of your, or whatever surface touches this, comes off onto that. I don't know how it does it. Something about the melting process. It's really cool when you see it on there. Anything involving the cats, yeah. I actually went back and edited the video that I'm doing coming up. It's got a pretty good cat cameo in there. They're just both chilling on the table as I'm talking. And so I think it's the first time I've had two cats on the table at one time during a video. David, swapping out something on the tool head for like the K2 Plus versus the Bambu P1S or the newer Bambus. So that's a video topic. The tool head for like the K2 Plus versus the Bambu P1S or the newer Bambus. As far as the K2 Plus, I don't know if I can do content. I mean, unless Creality wants to send me I think it's from Creality, send me a printer to work on it, I would totally do that. I love doing the maintenance videos. That's one of my favorite videos to do, just because I know they help people. And when I first started 3D printing, I didn't know anything about 3D printing, and I was like, this should just work forever. No, printers don't do that, just like cars don't do that. I should have known better. That's like the main reasoning behind those maintenance videos. I'm like, okay, if I was at that point, others may be at that point. So I want to be able to proactively pay it forward with those. Blackest 21. I don't know compared to an A1, but it has a quick release extruder. Okay, so I caught up on that comment. One of the things I want to do for the Snapmaker U1 is I really want to break down like what that tool head, like if you have to replace one, what that looks like on a video. I have to look into that and see. I have actually, I'll show you guys what I ordered. I ordered as part of the Kickstarter. I do get an extra extruder unit, and then I also did get 4 of the hardened steel hot ends to the 0.4 millimeter nozzles, because at some point, when I get courageous enough, I will swap these out to print glow PLA on there. I know from experience that glow PLA is really hard on the machine, especially the PTFE tubes. And The ones that go from the tool head, the PTFE tubes there are very specific. They're bigger ones. So I think at this time, I'm not certain on this, but the only place I know of to order them from is directly from Snapmaker. So I got to get those on hand too before I start printing with Glow PLA with that machine. And then I'll get to see like how well the extruder mechanisms, or not the extruder mechanisms, the filament feeding mechanisms work with that. And then I'll try like wood PLA and stuff like that, other abrasive type materials. But I want to get some more of those tubes on hand before I do that. And I wanted to have the extra extruder unit for the Snapmaker U1 on hand in case something were to happen. That just came in the mail, I think, 2 days ago. And ironically, I can't peel the sticker off of it. But underneath, it says for Snapmaker U1, but underneath, the box says for J1 models. So let's hope that's not the case. I don't think it is. They got the sticker on it, so actually we can open it up and find out. Where did my... I don't have my knife. Let's see if we can get this open without. Nope, I don't think so. But we'll get this unboxed at some point and check it out. Excuse me, because eventually all printers, they have malfunctions at some point in time, and you're going to need to work on it. Maintenance periods help with that, or not maintenance periods, but maintenance on your printer help with that. I did the Snapmaker U1 maintenance. It's also in the their handy app. You can look at videos that are there, and they go over what you need to do. Those pogo pins are really important to put that lithium grease on there so that they stay refreshed and don't wear out as much. And your printer will tell you, just like the Bambu Lab P1S and their entire ecosystem warns you, hey, your Z-axis rod needs grease. I might have be guilty for hitting the ignore button once or twice when I first started 3D printing, but if you ignore it too many times, you will lose print quality. These textured prints are so cool. I've got this one, and I've got one other one that they really change what I want to test these for. Is there's a file on there on MakerWorld, and this isn't for like the business aspect of it. I just like Pokemon, so I want to print this for myself, just because it'd be like, because of this texture. I want to print the Pokemon chessboard that they have out there in MakerWorld and see what that chessboard looks like with this holographic on there. It kind of like a throwback to a holographic Pokemon card. I think it'd be really cool. Maybe I'll do like a video on that at some point. Oh, Dante finally woke up. Do you guys have any questions about the Snapmaker U1? If you don't have it, please feel free to drop them in the chat. So far, I actually tried to print TPU on it, like I want to say a week ago, and it didn't go so well. It got to the extruder, but it was 95 ATPU from 0, and it started the first layer. The first layer finished, and then for some reason the TPU didn't go after that. It got like stuck, and then it was like 3 days later. Snapmaker released a video. Hey, this is how you print in TPU on this Snapmaker U1, and it's definitely not what I did. Iceman74, I ordered the Carbon one with the U1, still waiting on it. Iceman74, what do you mean the Carbon one with the U1? I'm drawing a blank. Oh, You guys have made it this far in the live stream, so I got a funny story to tell you. So BQ sent over to us the Panda alarm, and I got it set up, and I got it on the printer, and I did an overnight print. And in the middle of the night, and shout out to Abby for the patience she had with this. In the middle of the night, down here in the grotto, the alarm goes off, and we both wake up, and it's like, I think it was like 3:30 in the morning. And Gizmo was fast asleep. It didn't wake him up. Shout out to him, sleeping fast asleep. It was loud, and I'm sure the neighbors could hear it. The Panda alarm works, but when you install it, don't forget to adjust the volume settings because it's really loud. I think somebody would have thought somebody was breaking into our house. Oh, the carbon build plate? Oh, okay, that's what you're talking about. I didn't know that was a thing. I'll have to check out that build plate. I print a lot of fidget toys. When I first got the Elegoo Centauri Carbon, they had a build plate come with it. Well, not come with it, but you could order it with it. This texture, and I ordered that, and I print a lot of our fidget toys so that there's this holographic texture on the bottom of it, just to add with that to that flavor. Yeah, yeah, that Panda alarm. Uh, that's something I'll remember for a very long time. So just to cap off tonight's live stream, we talked about what printers are really going the way of the dinosaur as far as it comes to multicolor printing. Then we talked about what printers are available right now. Uh, and the printers that are going the way of the dinosaur are those Elegoo Centauri Carbon 2, even though it just came out. The Creality X i7, and I don't say that to cause controversy. They're going to be supported, I'm pretty sure, for Creality because they just released them for quite a while. I say the way of the dinosaurs. I mean, they're the previous age of 3D printing. We're entering in the new age with the printers like the Snapmaker U1 that are out now, the H2C that is priced really high, out of a lot of people's budgets, and of course the Prusa XL that's even higher price. But we're seeing other companies seeing what Snapmaker has done, and they're going to take their own versions to it. We see that the Flashforge, Creator 5, I want to say Creator 5 and Creator 5 Pro is coming out. The Wondermaker ZR Ultra and Ultra S are coming out. Those are the 4-changer tool systems that they're coming out. Those are going to drive the price points down further. So it's just going to make it more budget friendly for everyone, which is great. And then we talked about some of the other innovations that may be coming out in that same space. We talked about the CoPrint Quadro. That printer has got the 4 tool changers, but in a different way. It's on the Bambu A1 frame, the open bed slinger frame. It's a bigger build volume. It's 300 by 300. So that's a cool innovation to see that type of printer with a bigger bed. I think it's definitely going to take up a lot of space on the shelf, but it's cool to see that. And then we talked about the AtomForm Palette 300. That printer has got a lot of promise to it, especially with the nozzle swapping. But the caveat to that is it's in theory, it's not in existence. There is a Discord out there for it. There is a backer program, just like with a CoPrint Quattro. You can put your deposit down to hold your spot. And they claim that they're fully refundable. So, but that's where the industry is going as a whole. So it's a very good time to be entering into the 3D printing world if you're a new hobbyist. it's also a very scary time because you're like, if I buy this printer, is it going to be, am I going to wish in 6 months that I had waited 2 or 3 months for this next printer to come out? But don't let that paralyze you, because what you're going to learn with these, I don't want to say original printers, but these first generation single multicolor printers, is you're going to learn how multicolor works. You're going to learn how that uh, filament goes in and what happens during the purge system. And then you're going to see how much different these other printers are and how the innovation has transpired. But the same system still applies. You still have that filament that goes into the extruder that's got to be pushed out. So you're going to get basic understanding of what 3D printing, especially FDM printing, is all about. Oh, and if you made it this far in the live stream, I will let you know that I've heard word on the grapevine that Bambu is working on and there's a content creator out there that I learned it from, the first layer. You can check out their channel, shout out to them, that Bambu is working on a resin printer that's quote unquote scheduled for the end of this year to be dropped. If that turns out to be true, that's going to be fully expected to be the full ecosystem of making resin printing easier and less messy. Because I have a resin printer. It's still out in the garage. It's the Elegoo Mars 5. It's either Mars 5 or Mars 5 Pro or Mars 4. One of the latest series Mars that Elegoo's put out there. It's just sitting out there because it's so messy. So Havoc 3D. FOMO sucks. I almost wish I got the U1 instead of the AC Cobra S1 Max. That, yes, FOMO is a thing. The fear of missing out. I almost did the opposite. When it came to the Snapmaker U1, I was like, I'll wait for it. But then I was like, I backed it in like the last 3 days of the Kickstarter. And I could have missed out. And I would have been very sad at this point in time if I had done that. And I will say that I really wish I would have got the double unit at the time, because unless the industry really pushes the prices down, that value of what that was offered at, I think it was at like $1,400 for 2 units. That was a deal. I will say that. So I want to thank everyone for tuning into the live stream, everyone that's dropped in into the chat, that's helped others out in the chat. That's what we're really about in this community. Havoc 3D, I want that build volume over the multi-tool heads. The Wondermaker ZR Ultra that's coming out has got that 300 by 300 by 300 and the tool head that's there. So that's a pretty big build volume. I can't wait to get a printer that has that big of a build volume with the tool changer. That would be cool. The 270 by 270 by 270 for the Snapmaker U1 has already allowed me to print bigger wasteless prints. But Blackus21, thank you. This has been great. Blackus, thank you for tuning into the live stream, and thank everyone for tuning into the live stream. It really helps out the channel for those watch hours. And I just enjoy being here with the community. Next week, we're going to do the last episode of this arc of Print Pretzels and then we're going to start not filming, but talking about other things and really getting into the next arc. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for the next 48 hours. We're going to drop that comparison for the Snapmaker U1 and the P1S, and what that difference is, and where that transformation has happened in the industry. And I really appreciate everyone being here tonight. So until next time, be glorious.